Hello and welcome to another episode of Cities Skylines Podcast brought to you by SimNation and Paradox Interactive. My name is Jan and I'm joined here today by a special guest, SimsGuySteve.
I'm SimsGuySteve. You can find me on Twitch or Twitter as SimsGuySteve. It's very simple.
It's very simple. All the links will be in all the links will be in the description below as well.
Yep.
Pablo isn't here this week. Pablo is still a bit ill. He wasn't here 2 weeks ago during the previous one because he was on vacation and then he came down with a little bit of an illness. So I said, you know what, Pablo, take it easy. I'll find someone.
And he found me. I think you got the short end of the stick there, Pablo. John.
I don't know. I
think it's probably better to have Pablo than me.
I don't think it matters. I think anyone who has a knowledge of Cities Skylines and is passionate about the simulation games is fine.
There we go. Well, that's me.
Although
I have to say, most of what I know about Cities Skylines, I actually learned watching you.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
Because, I mean, that whole week before the launch, I was sitting there. That's when I first found you guys. The week before the launch, when I was sitting in your stream
but I was streaming all the bloody time.
Exactly.
I got 60 hours of gameplay into the game before it launched. There was a lot of gameplay. As always, all the content timestamps for the video will be down below if you want to skip any ramblings or just want to skip to a particular part. We'll do it normally. We do actually have to have patch notes to talk about this week, which is exciting. I like patch notes.
Patch notes are good.
Cities Skylines, we always have patch notes. It's the patch 1.07c, which is for those of you who have been following, there was a patch before this that was then taken down because of some issues. Well, this is basically that patch, except all the issues have been fixed in it. If you want to read the full patch notes, you can, as always, head over to our website, which is simulation.tv. The link will be in the description below, where I have lovingly formatted the patch notes for you. So we're just going to go quickly through it. First of all, there were some disappearing assets once you download them, they would kind of disappear in your game. It would be like, but wait, I downloaded this amazing building, where the hell is it? That has been fixed. That was one of the biggest ones. There were a few fixes to Asset Editor where user-created content was getting removed, or where you couldn't rotate stuff properly or drag stuff properly in it. That's all good and fine. There is one that I don't quite get, which says warning text added when enabling a mod. Maybe it just warns you like, hey, you are enabling a mod. We're not responsible if your game breaks. I think the one that everyone kind of wanted, or everyone was gonna get, is the Japanese Garden. So the Japanese Garden was if you pre-ordered if you signed up for newsletters before the game was released, you were promised the Japanese Garden. Now, due to a bug, everyone gets the Japanese Garden now, even if you didn't sign up. So, I mean, it's fine. It's a little garden, another park. It's a lovely thing. There's nothing really else. It's a bug fixing patch, so there isn't new content. But other than that, one of the ones here is paths cannot be built inside elevated roads anymore.
Now, does that talk about like going below the roads, or?
So there was a thing where you could, if you had an elevated highway or any elevated road, you could kind of clip the pedestrian path through it.
Gotcha.
And the elevated roads can now be upgraded or change direction if one ways, which is actually something that was already in there. It might have been a bug for some of the roads, but I don't remember it. I haven't seen it. As well as audio improvements. Other than that, it's bug fixes. It's a bug fixing patch. As they said before, and they say in this post, they are working very hard on fixing as many critical bugs as they can, as quickly as they can, before they actually start releasing new content for the game. And you know, the first bit of content that we know about that is guaranteed in the next free content patch is going to be the tunnels, which is amazing. We need tunnels.
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 Must have.
As always, if you are running a mod, it might not work with this patch. That's just a general warning. Whenever you patch any game and you're running a mod, it might happen that there are, either crashes or the mod doesn't work or the game goes weird. So you kind of have to be careful. I haven't tested it out with any of the mods I personally use, so I can't say that is for sure, but be careful, If you notice crashes, you notice problems, first make sure to disable your mods. If the problems still persist, go to the Paradox forums, to this topic thread, and just write it in, and they will, put it on their fix list. It's as simple as that. Those were the patch notes. That's all. I don't want to go through the entire thing, because, as I said, bug fixes. There's no point. But we can, before we actually switch on to our next section, which will be kind of a mod section, I want to ask you, have you been enjoying the game?
I've been loving the game. I've loved it. Unfortunately, the people, I let my viewers choose what I'm going to play next time. And every time I put in Cities Skylines, The Sims, it's always The Sims. The Sims, and I'm like, okay, let's try some different ones. Cities Skylines, The Sims, Mass Effect, The Sims. I'm like, let me play Cities Skylines. Let me play something. I did because of that, I did the 24-hour stream when they launched Get to Work. So, okay, I'm enjoying Get to Work, but I'd really like to do something else,
You have to just dedicate a day. Dedicate a day to Cities Skylines.
Look, tomorrow we're doing Cities Skylines. I don't care. If you don't want it, okay, I'll see you the day after. But tomorrow is Cities Skylines.
We're the direct opposite. We have Cities Skylines on every day of the week, except Thursdays when Fallon plays The Sims.
Yep.
Otherwise, I do Cities Skylines. I'm not a Sims guy, so I do a lot of Cities Skylines.
Yeah.
But
we
it's fun.
Talked about that earlier.
It's such a fun game.
I didn't intend to be this much of a Sims guy. I picked the name because really all I was going to be streaming. I was going to stream occasionally and do a legacy challenge, and that was going to be it. So I picked this name, and then I get more and more people asking me to stream more, and so now I'm streaming, and I'm still doing nothing but The Sims, and I'm going, oh, I really wish I'd picked a different name.
Well, I'm very lucky that Pablo picked SimNation, so I can do whatever. As long as it falls into the simulation genre. He's very specific about that. I was like, can I play, I don't know, Europa Universalis 4? He's like, no, it isn't a simulation. I'm like, but damn it, Pablo, I love that game. But then Cities Skylines came along, and now I'm doing Cities Skylines, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's that special interaction when you're doing it on a stream, and you have viewers to kind of give you input, and you can pull out things what you want to build or how you want to build them, and or that special interaction where when someone asks you a question on how something works, and you're able to answer, and they're just so excited. They're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know this is how it works."
Yep.
And there's a lot of that. We had a few people in the stream that we did earlier today, well, yesterday for you guys, who were like that. I had so much fun with it. It's so much fun. There's so many amazing people playing it, and I've been watching a bunch of them, and it's just everyone has a different style of building. Everyone has a different approach to the game, and that's what I love about this game, that you can use that approach and bring it in to your specific
I've actually been trying to change my style because I'm more of a logical thinker than a artistic one. So I tend to do grids, and I'm like, okay, this time I'm not doing grids. And then it's like I'll start. No. It looks like a grid.
That was my thing going in when we got the release copies, the press release copies. I was like, shit, I shouldn't. I don't want to build a grid. I'm not gonna build a grid. So my city turned out to be so many squiggly lines. It was completely unusable. Now on this latest city we started yesterday, I'm kind of doing something in between where it's still a sort of a grid, but it looks not as much like a grid. Plus we're using a lot more mods now as well, so.
Right.
But it's kind of that. And speaking of mods, why don't we get over to the mods? we actually had the mods over. The first one I want to talk about, and this is only well, not only. It is an amazing mod. It's called Gula Statue of Totally Moo. For you guys that don't know who Totally Moo is, Totally Moo is also known as John. He's the community manager for Paradox Interactive. I keep forgetting what his official title is. And he's amazing. He's the one I keep in contact with regarding Cities Skylines and this podcast, of course, because we, put it on our side and the Paradox Extra side. And he's amazing. So Gula, if you don't know, he's Max's Slime. He is probably one of the best mod makers out there. Has decided to honor him and create a little statue of him. It's not actually that little. It's quite a decent statue. And I would.
That's nice.
Another reason why I would like to point out this specific mod is because Gula is very specific when it comes to the descriptions of the mods. So all the mods show how much they cost, down, how much they cost per week, how much their range is. All the stats of the mods are in there, which a lot of the mods don't do, so in the end I have to go into the game, into the asset creator, and be like, right, this mod does this, and this, and this, and then put it on the website. But this one is he's very good. And he's very good at what he's doing. I mean, he was a designer over at Maxis before. He worked on SimCity, and we applaud him, and we're very grateful to have him. Because, as I said, his mods are amazing. He has a variety of mods. I only picked this one because it's Totally Moo statue. How could I not? I mean, it's amazing. All the mods, as always, are linked on our website, and the links are in the description below if you want to check any specific mods out. But I kind of picked random mods. I didn't want to stick with the theme. So the first one is this one. This is a statue. It's a lovely mod. The second mod I want to talk about, because it's a lovely mod. I don't know, SimsGuySteve, do you follow Dizaster?
I do not follow Dizaster, but I see the mod.
Well, this is Isle Dizaster. So it's his gecko, which is his it's kind of his his logo, his trademark, his brand.
Right.
Whatever. And the mod is actually created by Elric M, who is another amazing streamer who I have had the pleasure of working with before, and have a pleasure of calling a co-worker and a friend. We've kind of been talking for a bit now. Who is amazing, and he created this in honor of him. It's actually an amazing map. It's a blank map. There's nothing on it except the incoming connections. But it's a really fun map to play on because it gives you a bit of a challenge, because it's a different kind of setting, a different kind of shape. It's not that usual big map.
Right.
No, it's really fun to play with. I do recommend this map. It's an amazing map. It's fun to play. Plus, we love Dizzy over here at SimNation. And, we're working very hard with him. We always are. The next one is a building, actually. It's called the Spaceship Corporation HQ, which kind of reminds me of the proposed Apple headquarters, the new ones. I think that's what it comes after. I'm not sure. I didn't actually Google this building in particular, but it's just a unique tier 5 probable building that adds a bunch of things. It's a tourist trap. It does also provide some workers. So if you have unemployment, you can plop it down, have some workers. It has a kind of medium cost. There's no maintenance cost, which I find a little bit weird, because usually buildings do have maintenance costs if they are unique buildings. However, the construction cost is $250,000, so it might take you a while to get up to there. If you're like me and continuously spend your money. And this mod was created by N Omega, who does a few other mods, which are good. I do try to get the best mods posted and curated, because the workshop is such a mess.
I know they let anybody stick stuff in there. I even stuck something in there.
I didn't. I was gonna, but then I was like, no. I'll just the next time I'll be curating it, I'll just come over my mod and be like, oh god. So I didn't.
I know mine is a disaster. It was just a little. It was the first night it was out. I was like, I'm gonna make a little playground, and so I made a little playground and uploaded it. But
I had a nice big communist-looking park, and I was like, no. The next mod is, well, speaking of communism, is a Soviet cinema. I personally, I like having that part of town which I always make a district over called Little Moscow. Because this is a mod by, his name is Alex BY. He has a huge selection of Soviet mods, and I mean a huge selection. There's hospitals, clinics, schools, there's cinema, police. Is there a police station? No, there isn't a police station. But like tenements and apartment buildings and parks and amazing things. It's just a lot of Soviet stuff. And me being Eastern European, it's kind of close to home, ish. Right. I'm not I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. But it's kind of. I'm used to walking around my city and seeing these kind of Soviet-inspired buildings, and it just kind of makes it a bit close to home. So I picked the medium-sized Soviet cinema. There's also a larger size, but I just prefer the look of this one, so I went with this one. And yeah, it's kind of the 60s, 70s Soviet-style district. It's a park. It's a park. Mm-hmm. The only thing I would note about Alex BY mods is all the in-game descriptions are in Russian.
Well, that's his native language,
Yeah, so you kind of have to go. If you're like me and you kind of know Cyrillics, you can kind of know by that. Otherwise, you kind of have to click and drag out a little bit just to see what the building shape is, and then you figure out what the building is. But yeah, some of them have proper English names. Most of them are in Russian. That's the only thing about him. And the last mod we have from the mod section is the Enterprise Park. I'm a big fan of Star Trek, and I couldn't resist putting this in this week's mod spot list. I just couldn't.
Well, no truck you could.
I know. I'm kind of sad. It's the original Enterprise, and not Enterprise D or Voyager for that matter. I would have preferred Voyager actually, but it's still a very nice kind of. It's a different feel because you get a lot of these parks which are the same, more or less. It's just, right. Paths and a bench and some trees. So it's nice to actually see some different parks. I mean, there are a few out there. There's a Zen Garden Park, which has a kind of big, awesome statue in the middle, kind of a wall. Then you have this one with this Enterprise Park mod, and then you have the Lenin Park, and there's a few other parks, of statue parks especially. But, they're very rare. So I was very happy to find something where I was like, oh my god, it's the Enterprise. How could I not have this in my game? I find it amazing. It's very, very lovely. And the pedestal actually is the shape of the comm badge.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's the Enterprise Park. Why not? I mean, why not? We have so many choices. And this one is created by RQH+. God, people, do pick sensible names I can pronounce. Jeez. And we actually have a couple of minutes left. So, we are going to switch over now from this mod spotlight to a bit of a... What should we call it? It's a bit of a user screenshot section, I guess.
There you go. Community shots.
Community shots, because we have community shots. We said when we started out the podcast, we were like, we will do community stuff. We want to do community stuff. And this week, because there was the migration of the Paradox forums, the forums were a bit iffy, so I didn't want to pick from the forums because I didn't know what was before, what was new, what was just a big confusion. So I decided to pick from Reddit, and I picked some of my favorite screenshots from Reddit from this week. And the first one was, I think it was called something like, oh, they really love donuts and ice cream in my industrial area. And it literally is. It's the funniest thing, because it's just donut shop, ice cream, donut, donut, ice cream shop, and they're all the same. Just lined up. It's like they're there for the purpose of when the workers go to break, they just run across the street and then run back. But I found it hilarious, and I was like, well, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. And this is actually, I think this guy is using specialized industry, just by the building styles of the industry, I would say. I'm not sure. It looks like it. And he seems to have some sort of a floating railway quite high above it, which I'm not a big fan, but it was an interesting picture. The game does this sometimes. I was playing today, and I have a mod installed, which is called Aldi Nord and Aldi Sud. That it's kind of a grocery chain here in Europe. Some know it as Aldi, some know it as Hofer, or it's Lidl, something like that. But I had one pop up, and there was one other house one other commercial in the middle, and then there were two in a row, and then another commercial, and then another two. It's just plop one next to the other. And I always find these fun because the game does this. It doesn't differentiate. It just picks a random asset, and sometimes it happens. It's just you get a row of the same things. That's why I want to put in as many as I can, because I want differentiation. I don't want the same kind of shops all the time, which is a little bit of a problem with the game. A little bit. It's the same with houses as well. Right. The next one we have is this lovely huge intersection. I wish this would be on the asset on the Steam Workshop, because I would use it. The problem is it's too big, so he could never fit it on the workshop. However, it's an amazing intersection that looks lovely, because for some reason when I build intersections, they're always very compact and I kind of keep them very compact, and then I'm really annoyed with myself because I can't build it the way I want it. But this one's nice and laid out, and it seems to work quite well for him. He doesn't have a lot of traffic, but
I think you might be making them compact like that because you're used to the space in the other city builder. You couldn't spread out. You had to be compact and get everything as tight as you possibly could in order, you kind of
forget when you're playing sometimes that, oh wait, I can buy like 7 more tiles after this one. What the hell am I talking about? Why am I squeezing everything into this one little area?
Exactly.
But it's lovely also because on the workshop there are I said this before, 2/5 of the workshop are intersections, 2/5 are buildings that have been taken from the game and just a tree added and re-uploaded, and the last fifth is actual useful custom content.
Right.
And the intersections there are small because that's what the asset editor allows. So I do use a few, but I don't like to use them too much because then it gets too repetitive, and sometimes they don't really work the way I want them. And when I build them on my own, they turn out really compact and really small, and everything kind of clips through each other. And I want to build something like this. One day on the stream, I will spend an entire 5-hour stream building this. Which I've done before, just spent an entire stream dealing with traffic. Because you deal with a lot of traffic.
Oh yeah.
The next one is farms. Now, I don't know how this guy did this, but I think he used some mod assets, because there are a few where you can kind of paint the ground. But this is what farms should look like. This is so much what farms should look like. This should be farms in the game, not those little 4x4 small farms. Like this, spread out. Like, it looks beautiful. It looks so beautiful. I love this. I just love that it actually looks like farms. Like there's farms next to each other, because as I said in the game, they're kind of small and they look like industrial farming, which, I mean, it is industrial farming, but I don't like it. That was the one thing I liked about Cities XL and XL and blah blah blah, was their farming system, where you could where you zoned out farms, and they were these big farms and they looked amazing, and that's something that I think this game would benefit a lot from. So I always like seeing when people get innovative and build this kind of farms, even if it's just with assets and it's not really proper farms. I do like the look of it, because it gives it that life to the city. And while the rest of his city seems interesting. But I love this farm area. It looks amazing with the dirt roads, assets, everything. It's beautiful. The next one is actually a selection of pictures, which I have to quickly check on how it looks on on the podcast. But it's a selection of images. So this user decided that between every house, he would put trees down and see how the city develops, and trying to make it look more kind of natural. And it actually turned out beautiful with the trees. It kind of gives it a lot of the kind of homey feeling when you drive into a suburb or into a smaller town and there's trees everywhere. So he's been trying to achieve that, and he did use some mods as well for the lighting to be better and stuff like that when he took screenshots. But it looks beautiful. It looks like I'm coming into a vacation village. It has that kind of feeling to me, a vacation village feeling. And I think it looks like a vacation village. It looks like one of those. I know how much of those you do in the States, but we do them in Europe, kind of auto camps, where you come in with your caravan or your trailer and you park in. And they sometimes have modular houses you can rent out and stuff like that. But it kind of reminds me of that, because those always have a lot of trees and everything's kind of underneath the trees, and just very much gives me that feeling. We used to vacation in those a lot when I was a kid. And it just, I don't know, it gives it this lovely feeling. This nature, connected with the nature. And the last one is called Vermilion City. Now, Vermilion City is a thing from Pokemon. However, this is not a recreation of that. He just picked the name because he liked it. He wanted to create a kind of organic, lovely, beautiful city, and I think he managed to achieve it rather well. It looks very, very spread out, very organic, very much how like a city would, with a central downtown area and a lot of suburbs. There is one screenshot in particular where I had to double look to make sure it's actually a screenshot and not an actual picture of a city. And that's the last one on this list. It's the one I'm currently showing. Because it looks like a city. It looks like one of those vignettes of a city you would get from the side of kind of or a postcard of the skyline. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I see
it is.
See he's using the Taipei 101, he's using the Hancock building from Chicago. I notice all these things. He's using the World Trade Center buildings, the Sears Tower, which is called something else, Willis Tower now, I think. But it's a beautiful kind of way to create a city. I haven't actually made that big of a city yet. This city has almost 300,000 inhabitants. That's a lot. I do see he used unlimited money mod. However, the city still looks beautiful. If you want to create something beautiful and you need unlimited money mod for it, then by all means use the unlimited money mod. I've done it before, where I go into the city and I need screenshots for an article, or I need screenshots to tweet out, or I need this and that, and I just unlimited make beautiful screenshots, tweet them out. Especially when I do the top 10 mods sections, I just go unlimited money, just make pretty things. But that's what it's there for.
That's right.
Sometimes
it's there for testing.
It's there for testing, exactly.
It's you don't play the game, you just test it. It's for debugging.
Yeah, debugging. No, it's there to make
it's
beautiful...
not cheating,
well,
it's just debugging.
And sometimes you don't... Sometimes you just want to go in and create a beautiful city. You just want to make the city you've dreamed of creating the night before. And sometimes, I mean, it would take a long time if you did it the normal way without unlimited money. It would just take forever.
Right. It makes it what City Builder should be, and that's a sandbox to play in,
Yeah, and I think it's a really good sandbox to play in. I mean, a lot of things work really well. There are a few things that are a problem, as we've said before, but it's things that can be fixed. It's a really good foundation that can be improved on. That's why it was so successful. I did see today, this is unofficial. This is as unofficial gets. But I did see on Reddit there was some speculations, and through Steam Spy, they managed to figure out that Cities Skylines has sold almost 1 million copies.
I can believe that.
Because the last official news we got was 500,000 in a week. So a week after release, they had 500,000 sold copies. That was 2 weeks after release, or 3 weeks. 2 weeks. The first week of release, it was 250,000. The first 2 weeks of release, it was 500,000. That's a lot of copies, especially for such a small developer. I mean, and it gives them a lot of free hands. And Paradox is very happy about it, as they've said before. in interviews, and I think they're happy as well to see that baby kind of develop this way, and I find it amazing.
Now, is that sales since release, or does that include pre-orders?
Includes pre-orders.
Okay.
Because they didn't differentiate that, but
right.
I think at the first weekend it was 250,000, including pre-orders, because pre-orders went well as well. Because a lot of us were like that got press release copies were like, just buy it now. It's amazing. Just go buy it.
Oh yeah.
Especially me. I was very much like that. The entire week.
I checked your stream out, your pre-release stream out, and I saw several others as well, and I didn't hear a single person say, "Yeah, I don't know." Everybody was like, hands down, go buy it. Every single person, nobody hesitated. Nobody was kind of trying to hedge on it. Everybody was like, absolutely, go get this. Go get this now.
Yeah, because, you know, it is how it was portrayed as this, new gold standard of city builders, and it is. Honestly is. There are issues. I think we all can admit there are issues with the game, but there's always issues with the games, but they're fixable. And it is a really good game. I was very, very happy. I was personally a bit worried because we've been covering it for 6 months before release. And there was so much hype around it. And it looked too good to be true. It looked too good to be true on so many occasions. That when we got those pre-release copies, I was a bit nervous starting it up, going, I really hope this is everything I wanted it to be. And everything they promised it would be. And they delivered on their promises, and that's what made it so amazing for me.
Right.
Is the fact that it was, amazing things were promised, amazing things were delivered. Granted, there were bugs, granted, there are things they can make better, but what they promised was there, and the game is very, very solid, and it's very, very fun to play. Especially if you use mods. So, I mean, if you're not a mod person, don't use mods. No one's forcing you to. I personally am a mod person. I love additional buildings. That's what made SimCity 4 great for me. That's what's making this great for me. The fact that I can go into the workshop and be like, yeah, I want this, and this looks amazing, and that looks amazing, and I want this, and I don't want to bother with intersections. I'm going to pick up a few of those. I want a few more landmarks. I want, things that allow me to zone pedestrian paths with buildings. There's so many amazing things. So do check those out. But we're at the end of the podcast, which means that I have some plugging to do.
Oh, go for it.
This is the most horrible part, where you have to plug things. But if you like the content we provided for you today, whether you're watching on the Paradox side, make sure to check out our side over at simnation.tv. All the mods and links in the description will be in the description below, as they always are. And if you're checking this on the SimNation side, make sure to head over to the Paradox Extra channel and just subscribe and love them, because they are awesome. We should all love Paradox, because they're amazing.
We do. We do love Paradox.
Yes, we do. I've loved them before this game. I love them even more now. And that, with me, has been SimsGuySteve. You can find him in the links below, and as he mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, SimsGuySteve on everything. That's the easiest way to put it.
That's it. I'm easy to find.
He does daily streams, I think, don't you?
Yep. And right now, I want to do a variety of things. Right now, I'm kind of stuck in that one game, as we discussed. But yeah, I'd love to branch out some. So if you're willing to come by and pull me away to other things, I'd be grateful.
Yes, so you can follow SimsGuySteve on Twitch as well. He does the Sims. He wants to do more Cities Skylines, wants to do more different kind of games. And you can follow us on Twitch. I personally am doing daily streams of Cities Skylines currently, and we'll branch up to other games eventually as well. But for now, Cities Skylines, because it's amazing and we love it and we're never getting tired of it. And I'm hitting the table too hard, so my camera is doing this. But that has been it. My name was Jan.
I thought it was you. I thought you were getting excited and jumping up and down. See?
What was I saying? Oh yeah, that has been it. My name has been Jan. That has been Steve, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Hopefully Pablo will be back. Bye.
Oh, this is the most satisfying thing ever. We are God in SimCity 4. Wow, that was loud. Oh, you're gonna eat that, huh? You're gonna eat it. I see. What? Nothing. Okay.
And now she is tossing that salad with her... Stop sticking your finger in your ear! Alright, she's tossing the salad with her earwax.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It doesn't really well. Okay.
Oh, they're coming for you, Pablo!
Shit,
Run!
Oh, yeah. These road trips, man, are killing me. Anyway, let me know whenever we are recording. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Extended Play. I'm your host, this is Stuart, and that is a fancy, fancy sign. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.